A small truck is overturned in the deep woods. It is heavily damaged and abandoned. A woman inspects the wreck's undercarriage. She assesses the severe structural damage. She probes a damaged area with a tool. Her expression is one of deep concentration. The full extent of the damage is visible. She contemplates the monumental task ahead. Two women try to move the heavy wreck. Their effort seems futile against the weight. She now assesses a larger recovery truck. A plan for extraction is forming. A team works together to rig a tow cable. Proper rigging is critical for a safe recovery. She appears to have sustained a minor injury. Teamwork extends to caring for each other. The team begins the slow process of recovery. They use a larger truck as an anchor point. The wrecked truck begins to move. The initial pull is a success. Slowly the vehicle is winched up the slope. The vehicle is almost upright once again. It is carefully loaded onto a transport trailer. The most dangerous part of the recovery is over. The wreck is now being transported from the forest. This concludes the successful recovery operation. A close look at the severe front-end damage. The interior is also completely destroyed. A man inspects the undercarriage for more damage. He adds essential fluids to the engine. The repair work continues under the vehicle. The truck is finally driven away from the scene. The story shifts to another wrecked truck. It is being towed down a rough jungle path. The wreck is brought to an open area. The damage is severe with body panels missing. It is moved to a small rural workshop. A woman begins the teardown process. She starts by removing the seats. The entire vehicle will be stripped to the frame. She moves to the engine for disassembly. She carefully removes engine components with a wrench. She works on the damaged exhaust system. She removes the air filter for cleaning. She inspects the engine's main cooling fan. She organizes the small parts in a basin. This prevents losing critical fasteners. She now works on the vehicle's main drive shaft. She inspects a universal joint for damage. A power tool is used to speed up the work. She works on the chassis near the fuel tank. The drive shaft reassembly continues. She works on the front suspension assembly. She reinstalls the exhaust system components. The truck is slowly taking shape again. The restoration is a long and complex process. A new chapter begins. A woman works on a truck frame. She uses an angle grinder on the rusted metal. She carefully removes the drive shaft. The wiring harness is heavily damaged. A close look at the old dirty engine. She now prepares to paint the restored frame. A look at another part of the engine. She uses a small crane to lift the entire engine. This is a major step in the teardown. The removed engine is thoroughly cleaned. This removes years of grime and grease. She prepares straps to move the engine. A detailed view of the old transmission. She works on the undercarriage, removing the leaf spring suspension. A man assists with the heavy suspension work. She moves to the cab, disassembling the interior. Every part of the truck is being stripped down. She works on the steering column assembly. A look at the old steering mechanism. She uses an angle grinder on the frame. She removes the steering wheel from the column. She continues to strip the truck to bare metal. The complete teardown is almost finished. Error in description. The next story, a woman works on a truck's suspension. She removes the wheel with a hammer and wrench. The lug nuts are rusted and difficult to remove. The truck is in a state of major disrepair. She uses a large hydraulic jack to lift the chassis. The truck is carefully raised for undercarriage work. She continues to raise the vehicle higher. She removes another lug nut from a wheel. She lifts the heavy wheel off the axle. She carefully lowers the hydraulic jack. An impact wrench is used for speed. She now begins to disassemble the brake system. A close-up of the old drum brake assembly. She removes a component of the suspension. She continues to disassemble the front end. A look at the removed suspension part. She uses the impact wrench on the main axle. The front end is now completely stripped down. A close look at the removed suspension. The final shot, a job well done. Another chapter begins. A woman works on the truck. She is repairing the front suspension. She removes metal shards with an angle grinder. She holds up the heavy engine head. A look at the disassembled suspension parts. She carefully disassembles the arm assembly. She removes the entire wiring harness. A power drill is used to remove a part. The work continues on the truck's chassis. She removes a wheel with the impact wrench. The chassis is being completely stripped. She now works on the rear axle assembly. The workshop is a chaotic but organized space. She lifts the heavy rear axle assembly. The frame is now completely bare. She uses a hammer to remove a stubborn part. The truck has been reduced to its core parts. A look at the disassembled steering system. The truck's cab is lifted off the frame. A wide shot of the completely stripped parts. To final shot, the rear axle is ready for rebuild. The story continues with a new project. A woman lifts a heavy engine with a crane. The workshop is a hive of activity. She begins disassembling the engine. A close look at the engine's oil filter. She now removes the clutch assembly. She carefully works on the fuel lines. She removes the valve cover, exposing the rockers. The spark plugs are carefully removed. The removed plugs are cleaned for inspection. Her tools are kept meticulously organized. She cleans a small engine part in a basin. A detailed look at the transmission gears. She separates the transmission from the engine. A close-up of the clutch plate splines. The engine teardown continues methodically. Each part is carefully removed and inspected. Her expertise and focus are undeniable. The engine is stripped to the bare block. The disassembly is almost complete. The final shot, a master at work. The final chapter begins with engine repair. A woman works on an old motor. She continues the detailed engine work. She works on the fuel delivery system. She uses a large wrench on the engine head. The workshop is her domain. She works on a smaller component with pliers. She continues with the engine reassembly. She wears a mask for protection from fumes. She uses a crane to lift the heavy engine. The engine block is carefully moved. She reattaches the electrical wiring. A wide shot of the bustling workshop. The scene shifts to a rural landscape. Two people walk down a country road. She works on a small blue utility truck. She tries to push the stuck vehicle. She uses a winch to pull it free. She inspects the truck's interior. She tries to start the engine. The truck is finally freed and running. The story begins with a blue truck. It is being driven on a rough dirt road. The truck struggles with the difficult terrain. The truck has broken down by the roadside. A woman in a conical hat approaches. The women attempt to push the heavy truck. Their efforts are not enough to move it. One woman inspects the wheel for damage. The truck is raised on a jack. She begins to remove the wheel lug nuts. She works with focus and determination. She removes the wheel from the axle hub. A close look at the dirty removed wheel. She now inspects the exposed axle. She uses an impact wrench to speed up work. She works on the undercarriage of the truck. She reinstalls the wheel on the hub. She inspects her work to ensure it is secure. She lowers the truck off the jack stands. A final view of the repaired truck. With the repair done, she cleans her tools. She gets into the driver's seat to test it. The truck drives away. Her mission a success. The truck disappears down the rural road. The final shot, a lonely road and a job well done. The final story begins with a transmission repair. A woman disassembles a complex gearbox. She continues the meticulous teardown. The small internal parts are cleaned in a pan. She wipes each component clean before inspection. She works on the internal gears of the box. She begins the careful reassembly process. She installs a new bearing into the housing. The complex assembly slowly takes shape. The transmission case is finally sealed. She begins work on the truck's undercarriage. She uses a jack to lift the heavy vehicle. She removes the wheel to access the axle. The axle is disassembled for repair. She reinstalls a key component of the axle. The other side is reassembled. The final bolts are torqued down. The rebuilt transmission is reinstalled. The final bolts are tightened, securing the unit. The wheel is reinstalled with a power wrench. The repair is complete. A final inspection. A woman works on a large truck wheel. The truck is supported by concrete blocks. A smaller blue truck is shown in the field. A woman drives the small blue truck. A different, more primitive truck is shown. A man helps push the blue truck. A very special thank you to the owner of the YouTube channel Li Tiu Hang for creating this wonderful video and allowing me to comment. If you enjoy this narrative, please visit and support their channel at the link in the description below.